All right, folks, here we go. We are at Pinecrest Drive in Lakeland, Florida. We are going to be kicking off a video.
Yep.
We're going to be telling the story of our family's history here in Lakeland, Florida.
Yes, there's been a lot of trips that our family has taken through this generation and then past generations, going back a long way.
So we live north, about 1,200 miles north here in the United States.
Not
But
that much.
this is where our history began, here at Pinecrest Drive here in Lakeland, Florida. My grandparents moved here. I was born in 1982, and then in February of 93, they moved here, and they moved here to this street here. And this is where it kicks off right now, Pinecrest Drive. All right, can everybody see us here? All right, we are going to give a little recap. We're going to give a little synopsis of our family's history of coming here to Florida.
Hold on, I want to show them. I'm wearing the new T-shirt I got.
Yes, and I changed, and I don't have it on. I like it. We got matching. This is my son, my oldest son. We got matching Walt Disney World T-shirts when we went to Disney Springs the other day. But I want to give just a little recap of kind of our history, our family's history, not only to coming to Florida, but actually Lakeland, Florida. Lakeland, Florida, if you don't know where that's at, if you look at a Florida map, it's almost the dead center. Central Florida, right on Route 4, which goes from coast to coast pretty much, right between Tampa, it's a little closer to Tampa than Orlando, about 30 minutes, you could be at Walt Disney World, about 30 miles or so, 20-some miles you could be at Tampa, and of course Orlando's on the other side of Walt Disney World.
So since he knows more about our family's history from before I was born, for this part I'm just gonna let him give most of it. I'm just gonna sit here and listen. So I'll chime in after a little bit, a little bit later for some of the history I was alive for. So
Okay.
go for it.
And actually, all started. It sounds like a funny story. It actually started when I was born, but it actually did. Yeah, there are some people coming. How's it going? I was born in November of 1982. 3 months later, my grandparents actually, my mom's parents, decided to move here to Central Florida. They actually moved here to Lakeland, Florida, in February of 1983. So beginning that, and I was able to come down here. I was only 3 months old. I just know the story. And beginning that summer of '83, my family spent the first 2 weeks of July in Florida. My dad was always, that's his work, he was always off first 2 weeks of July. So from '83 to 2002, we pretty much did not miss a first 2 weeks of July to come here, not only to Florida, but actually right here to Lakeland, Florida. And got a lot of great memories growing up, going to Walt Disney World, Epcot, Clearwater Beach. We had different times we'd come down and maybe an aunt and uncle would come with us. I have an aunt and uncle on my dad's side that came with us in 1989, and they live in West Virginia. They came down with us. When I was a teenager, 2 different times I brought a good friend. One of the friends actually turned out to, when I grew up, to be my brother-in-law. I married his sister, and he lives here in Lakeland now with his family. So from '83 to 2002, Lakeland, Florida was kind of like our summer retreat. If we got 2 weeks off, this is where we came. Unfortunately, in '91, so about 8 or 9 years after we started coming down here, my grandfather passed away. My grandfather had some health troubles. That's why they moved here, to get away from the north winters. And they came here. He passed away in 1991, but my grandma decided to stay here without him, and she continued living here until 2002. So throughout the 90s, throughout my teen years, we came here. I think 2 years we missed coming, which I believe was the summer of '99 and the summer of 2001. And the only reason we did that is because my grandma actually decided to come to where we live up north for the summer. And so she wasn't here, so we didn't come visit here. And the last time I was able to come here to visit my grandma was in the summer of 2002. I was 19. My brother's family came down, his kids were born. I was not married, of course, and I was a freshman in college. I came here with my parents, 2002, and that was in the summer, July, of course. September of 2002, my grandmother passed away, and my mom and her brothers, they decided to, they came down after she passed away and kind of packed our house up and sold our house because there's nobody else here. Sold our things, took some stuff home, of course. And so kind of that chapter of coming to Lakeland, Florida was closed. My grandparents had passed away. I did have an aunt here, but as far as coming down, spending 2 weeks, 2002, that ended. And I really thought I may never be back to Lakeland. The following September, 2003, I got engaged. I was in college. And then that following summer, 2004, June of 2004, I got married. And so, you know, it's been 2 years since I'd been down here. My wife and I decided we were going to come to Walt Disney World for a honeymoon. She had went as a little girl.
Myrtle Beach for your honeymoon.
We did.
Second honeymoon.
But originally, we were going to come to Florida. We wanted to go to Walt Disney World for the entire week and see all the parks and stuff. My wife had not been since she's a little girl. However, due to some scheduling conflicts, it did not work out. We ended up going to Myrtle Beach. And that was it. So, once again, I didn't think we were going to come back to Florida. We still wanted to do that Disney trip. So the following May in 2005, my wife graduated from college in Virginia. And then I went ahead and booked.
Remember, we visited that college just on this trip.
We did. And so we went back and and so 2005, May of 2005, we came back to Lakeland. We came back and visited my aunt and uncle, but we were going to Walt Disney World, of course, and we spent a week there. We didn't have any kids. We loved it. And so 2002, 3 whole years passed before I came back to Lakeland, and that was just for one day while we were going to Walt Disney World. Once again, didn't think I'd be back in Lakeland again. On the way home from that Disney trip, though, I mentioned we went to Myrtle Beach on our honeymoon. Growing up, that's where my wife kind of went on vacation. That was her go-to spot, which is
just like how Florida was your go-to spot.
Florida was my go-to spot. We'd been several times, both of us. And so we decided on that way home, on that May 2005 trip, before we had kids, that we were no longer going to come to Florida or Myrtle Beach. We were going to go see places we had never been. I had never been really to Chicago. As farthest west I had been, it's like Ohio. I had never been up New England. I had not been like to Texas at that time. And so we decided on that trip, on the way home, we drove home, that we were no longer going to come to Florida. Not because we didn't like it, because we'd been here, and I'd been here several times. So the following year, 2006, that summer, we went to California. We kind of met our goal of going someplace we'd never been. Went to Vegas, California for the week. But something changed in January of 2007. So that's 6 months later. 2 things happened. Number one, we found out this guy was coming. He'll be here in the fall.
Yeah.
And my parents retired. And my parents had lived near me up north. And they retired, and what did they do? They bought a house in Lakeland, Florida. So that summer, since my wife was very pregnant and did not want to go anywhere else, and we wanted to see the place my parents had bought, we decided to come down here in the summer of 2007. That was 3 months before he was born. And that would have been, and he was born in September of 2007. So I had come all those years until 2002. Then we skipped 3 years, came back for one day, and then we had really skipped another 2 years, and I came back again. We didn't come in 08. 09, my work allowed me to have a second week vacation. So we decided, you know what, we still want to go to those other places we hadn't been to, new places, because really we'd set that goal. My wife and I had set the goal in 05. We hadn't went anywhere else other than California in 06. Come here in 07. We went to Myrtle Beach in 08, which made no sense because those are the places we didn't want to go.
Because
we'd already been several times. So in 09, we came here for spring break. Brought a couple of Gary's cousins that were younger, teenagers at the time. We stayed here in Lakeland. 2010, my wife's pregnant again with our second son, so we opted not to go to Florida that year. We came back in 11, and we also brought another one of my wife's cousins.
Yeah.
And
that was my year. That was my first trip to Disney World.
That was his first trip to Disney World. Yeah, we went.
I was young.
We went in 09, but he was so little. We didn't want to take. We wanted to enjoy our own selves. Plus, we had some other cousins with us, so we took them. In 11, we took him for the first time, and we kind of kick-started a tradition. We come back in 2012 for spring break. Went to Disney again. Actually took. I don't think did we take our little one there? Did we take Brady there?
In what year?
In 12.
No, he's only been twice. 2018 and
yeah,
13, 14.
No, we didn't come in 13. So we
From
went
14.
So we came back here in 07, 09, 11, and then 12. 13, we didn't. We went somewhere else. I actually went on a Route 66 trip with my dad and kind of took this vacation week, so we opted not to come here in 13. And then 14 started. We've come in here every year since. We come in spring break of 14. We come in 15.
16.
We come in 16.
2 times in 16.
Yeah,
Right.
16. We added Christmas week.
Oh, and in 16, we also brought along our me and Brady's great grandpa, which is our mom's grandpa.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
that.
we
We did
brought
that in
him
16
along. That was-
for
that was a
spring
lot of
break.
fun.
Come back at Christmas and surprise my parents for Christmas. Right after Christmas, a day or so after. Spend a week between Christmas and New Year's here at 16. We come back in 17, and that year was kind of a different thing. My wife's a teacher, and we were able to bring some students down with us. She teaches a small private school, and so their class trip was to the Bahamas. So we came here, dropped the boys off at my parents', and then my dad took us, and we picked up a cruise ship at Port Canaveral and spent a week in the Bahamas in 17. We come back in 18.
Summer of 2018.
Summer of
for
18.
2 weeks. Oh wait, we need to explain. On a different video, we'll explain our 2-week mega vacations. But for this one, we'll just lightly
Yeah.
dip our toes in.
Starting in 15, we started doing what we call a mega vacation. Kind of, the term come from him.
No, I thought it came from you.
Taking a vacation, but actually taking it in 2 weeks. We'd never done that
I thought
before.
They came from you.
I don't really remember.
I don't remember
One of
either.
us came up with the term mega vacation. And that was 2 weeks vacation. We did it for the first time in 15. We went to California. And then we skipped in 16. We went to Wisconsin, Minnesota, only for a week.
Yeah, that was with our grandma and our great grandma.
That was in 16.
Came
In
along with us on that one.
17, we went to Colorado
That
for
was
2
a
weeks.
lot of fun.
But then in 18, we thought, you know what? We haven't been to Florida for 2 weeks. It's kind of a relaxing time.
We've just been mostly going 1 week for spring break and then taking those other 2 weeks in the summer to go other places.
So we opted to skip the spring break in 18, and we came here for 2 weeks in June of 18. And my parents were not here. They live here, but they're snowbirds, so they don't live here in the summer. And we went to Walt Disney World for a day.
Before then, I loved the Disney parks, but I hadn't been for 4 years, for quite some time. So I wasn't too big of a fan. I like watching their movies, some, but I wasn't as big of a fan. But after that, it sparked my
It sure did.
it sparked my fanaticism for the Disney parks, and I became a fanatic. I would always talk about it. I would do research about it, watch videos on YouTube about the histories of rides and stuff like that.
So that was the summer of 18. At Christmas, we decided to come back again. We come back between Christmas and New Year's in 18.
Yeah.
He said, wow, that's a lot of vacations. That's a lot of places. You got to understand something, as we mentioned.
Bring
My
back
parents
spring
have a
back.
home here. So that's $0 coming down here
$0.
for lodging. A lot of times we drive straight through. And so we usually get food for
Oh,
groceries.
Brady's chasing us.
We get food for groceries. We're going to do that anyway at home. And we try to save throughout the year, of course, to go on
Yeah.
different excursions. In 19, our plan was not to come to Florida. We were going to go, B-Dog just joined us. We were going to go to New England. My wife found out, though, she's pregnant for the 3rd time, 9-year gap.
9-year gap.
So
big
she
gap.
did not want to go anywhere other than coming
Florida,
here.
just like when she was pregnant with me.
So we waited till after the babe was born, and we decided on her maternity leave, 8 weeks maternity leave, that we were going to come here. So we came here for 2 weeks this past October.
We had to actually do schoolwork there.
And,
We had to type
wake up,
some
do
of our
schoolwork.
assignments.
It was great, though.
It was great.
He and I went to Islands of Adventure. E-Man is not a big music park guy.
So he didn't want to come.
He opted not to go. He stayed here.
Yeah.
And
Decided to
we
stay.
did that. We started out 2020, and our plan was not to come to Florida again. Not that we don't like it, but we had decided we've been
Yeah.
here several times. We want to go to new places.
The plan was to go to New England.
Yeah, and we had went to New
We've been
England
there before.
one time in
But
2011.
only for a week. No, we went twice, right?
No, just once.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I feel like we went twice.
No,
No,
just once
Okay.
to New England. So that we're going to do that this summer. Of course, the unpleasantness, COVID, coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, broke out in March of this. We actually were going to go in March.
We were going to go in March to Disney for an entire
Forgot about
week.
that.
Just
We
thought-
had a Disney vacation plan beginning on March 22nd of this year, 2020, and of course they closed. You're going to have to sit down, buddy. They closed, which canceled our trip, and we opted to come back here now. But so that's where we stand. We're getting ready to go home. This is the middle of 2020,
This is the final
summer
day.
of 2020.
This is the final day.
Final day of this vacation. We love Lakeland, Florida. It is a beautiful city. And we have been here. We've kind of stayed secluded. We haven't went out too much.
No.
due to the
We went to
unpleasantness.
Disney Springs.
We did go to Disney Springs. It was really the only store
And
we
we went to
visited.
some filming locations,
But those were outside, nobody around. We wore
Nobody
masks,
around.
we did all that. And so we're going home. Where do we go from here when it comes to Florida?
We
When
don't
will we be back? We don't have a plan
we're
right
hoping
now.
to come back either later this year or next spring break.
More than likely it'll be in
Yes.
2021. We want to get that Disney trip in that we
And next year
promised
yeah.
these guys 2 years to do.
Yes, let's explain that. Our
Explain that.
plan, so I guess I'll leave this part. So our plan was, after our trip to Disney and Universal for just a day each in 2018,
Yeah.
at Christmas, they surprised me and Brady. Well, I was very excited about it, but Brady was not. Once again, he's not a very big fan of theme parks because he doesn't like riding rides very well. He'd rather stay home and play video games or watch television.
Yeah.
But they surprised us and said that they gave us this envelope and some different things. They give some baggage tags that have Mickey on them, things like that. I'm going to cut to the chase for this part. They said we're going to go to Disney World for 5 days. Our plan was to go to Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and then Magic Kingdom again. That's no specific order there.
That was supposed to take place the first time
2019 spring break.
in March.
Were they, yeah.
Like we mentioned, my wife found out she was pregnant in January.
Yep.
She wasn't going to want to go to Disney World for a week, especially can't really ride anything super exciting, being pregnant. So we let these guys down and said, you know what, we're going next spring break.
Yep. So, So eventually
we said it closed.
We did get to come to a theme park. We went to Islands of Adventure. I had a lot of fun that day. Ooh, we're getting ready to get sprayed by a sprinkler. So we.
Woohoo!
That felt
Awesome,
really
that's
nice.
the sprinkler.
That felt really nice.
Yes.
All right, so let me cut the chase on this one. So in 2020 came around, and we said we're gonna go to Disney, and then this unpleasantness.
We had our magic
hit.
bands
We had our
already
magic
in,
bands.
counting the days down.
They're right now sitting in our basement in the Emporium.
Yeah.
We were counting down the days. We were so excited. About a week or so before then, this stuff hit. They canceled school, Disney closed, and we said we're going to have to wait. We were hoping to do it later this year, but it probably won't happen until probably next spring break. So 2 years without it happening.
But we will be instead going 5 days at Disney.
We were
in
originally
2
going
days
to
at
we were
Universal.
originally going to go 5 days, and no, that's not true.
We'll see what happens.
Yep.
We could have went for maybe a day this trip if the cases had really went up in Florida. Once they started going up, we said forget it. Plus, you got the mask mandate, which is fine. We understand that.
Yep.
But we're just not excited about
And
being
it's-
here
and
in
it's
July
hard
with a mask,
Yeah, when we went
paying
to-
the big dollars to go to a park. So we opted, well, you know what, we'll do this.
Yeah.
Hopefully when this passes.
It was really hard at Disney Springs, even
I'm not
after a
saying
little
we
while
wouldn't
it
go
started. Yeah,
with a mask,
I would.
I would.
but we just weren't excited about it.
Do you think that's the end?
That's
it.
All right.
That's
So,
kind of our history of
Wait.
Lakeland, Florida, Central Florida.
yeah, maybe on our next
For our
trip
family.
we might update you on some new parts of the history that
The COVID game, I was actually looking forward
He
to
was.
flying the Millennium Falcon and doing all that.
Yeah.
Started
But,
getting excited for it,
But
and
then,
then don't go. Can you actually even see us?
Yeah.
Gosh, has it been 6 years? All right, we are back 6 years later.
Yeah.
We recorded that video you just saw July of 2020, right in the middle of COVID. We were down here. The time we were down here, they just made the mask mandate for Florida, and it was the first time we actually had to wear masks
Yep.
during that video. So how long has it been?
6 years.
6 years. As of this recording, it is March 27th, 2026. And so much has
My half
changed.
birthday today.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Happy half birthday.
Didn't even think about it. I didn't realize what day it was really.
Yeah, I didn't think about it either. I had no idea. So, we were just, the last video we kind of did, let's go this way. We kind of did our complete history in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And we've added some history since March of 2020.
Yep.
Our next trip after that last video was actually Christmas of 2020.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
We came down here. It wasn't the year we surprised Mom and Papa.
But Uncle Matt came down.
Oh.
And he surprised us.
Yes, my brother came down from Kentucky.
I think we have that on YouTube, actually.
Yeah. Yes, and from that point on, I can say this, from 2020 to 2026, we have not went on a trip that we have not documented and placed on this channel.
Yep, that summer trip where just that video that you just saw from 6 years ago, that trip, summer of 2020, July, during the COVID year, that was our very first, at that time we called it vacation vlogs, but that was our very first trip that we filmed, and I don't think there's been one since, like you said, that we have not filmed.
So we'll do a recap. In 2020, I was 37. I am currently 43.
Yeah.
Ethan was what, 12?
Yeah.
He's currently 18. Brady was 9. He's 15 now. Going to be turning 16 this summer. Lincoln
Brady
was
10 then. This is July.
That was July. Yes,
Yeah.
he had already turned 10. Then Lincoln was a baby, 9 months old. He is going to be 7 this Labor Day. Lots changed.
Yes.
We did come down here Christmas of 21. Like he said, my brother, his uncle, surprised my parents and kind of came in for a few days while we were down here. Started 21, and remember we had mentioned, we had talked about we wanted to do a Disney vacation.
We did, yeah.
We had planned it to do it at 19. Carrie was pregnant with Lincoln, and we scheduled it for the next year, 2020, which was 3 months before this last video aired.
Yep.
And we had to cancel because of COVID. We got that trip in.
We did. If you followed our channel at the time, if not, you can look back. We have a playlist of it. We have a whole week that we spent in Florida at Disney.
That's right.
And we spent 6 days in the parks and 1 water park day.
We
You
did.
can forget about that. The total of really, if you count the water park, 7 days in the parks, which was an awesome trip.
Yeah. We had to wear masks though.
Yeah,
We were still under the mask mandate.
that was really one of the only negatives of that trip. But all in all, it was a great trip.
Yep.
Finally got to go to, me and Brady, for our first time, got to go to Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios. We had never been to any of them.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. And
Blizzard Beach.
Blizzard Beach, yeah.
We flew down. We never fly. We flew down. Me, Brady, and Ethan flew down a couple days early. Went to Blizzard Beach.
Yep.
And then Lincoln and Carrie flew in, and we picked them up and checked into Pop Century the next day and did 6 days in the park. Lincoln only got to do 1 day, though.
He was pretty young. He was,
Yeah.
not even 2 years old yet?
Yeah, so he stayed at the hotel with my parents, who I don't think they enjoyed 1 second of it. They loved spending time with Lincoln, but it wasn't the most fun watching a little kid in a hotel room.
Yeah,
Not as fun as it would have been here at the house.
And a Disney Value Resort hotel room, not the biggest, and of course having a little kid who's got lots of energy.
Yeah.
And 2 senior citizens, it can be kind of difficult to do for a whole week.
Now, we didn't do multiple Florida trips really from here on out. Because in the summer of 21, I know we're not talking about every single vacation, but we did do 2 weeks in Texas.
We did. That's also on our channel.
So we did not have any more.
Sun shining through this little panel over here. Just shining directly through it.
Yeah. And then in 22, we came back, March 22. I don't really remember much about that trip. The years are rolling together.
They kind of are. We did not go to Disney at all.
No Disney in 22.
Some years, which we talked about on our older video, sometimes we went for a day, sometimes we didn't go. This year we did not go to any parks. We got it filmed.
That trip we came down here and went to a Detroit Tigers spring training game.
We did. I forgot what year that was.
That was 22. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And also in 22, not that we're talking about all these vacations or other non-Florida things, but we did go, we went to California. We drove Route 66, went to Vegas for 4 days. We spent 4 days in Los Angeles and 4 days in Phoenix as our mega vacation for the summer of 22. Probably one of the best vacations of all time.
Oh, yeah.
23, things were a little different. we had planned to come down here for a week, and I'm not going to get all the details of it, but we had a family member that we needed to help out. So we kind of got some special permission.
We did.
And we actually came down here for 3 weeks in a row. It's never happened before, maybe never happen again. Ethan, Brady, and I came down for 2 weeks. And then the third week was our regular spring break that we were already planning. And Lincoln and Carrie flew in. And so we did 3 full weeks in a row. Really, about 24 days in a row, I think is how it equaled out.
Yeah, that was great. Never done a trip that long before.
No, and like I said, probably never again. It's just a very unique circumstance.
Yeah.
But we were able to squeeze in a day at Hollywood Studios. Ethan and I went.
We did.
That was in 23, that 3-week time.
Yeah.
Also in 23, in the summer, we went to Yellowstone, Grand Teton. We went to Arches National Park in Utah. Spent some time in Idaho, and another great national park vacation, summer 23. 24, something changed. We decided, for whatever reason, not to go to Florida at all. It's one of the only few years ever in my entire life that I didn't set my feet in the state of Florida. 24, we didn't do that.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know why we didn't, but we did.
Yeah.
And also during that time, my dad was having a health scare and had to go through some treatments and such. And thankfully, as of this recording, he's doing excellent, doing well, free of the disease that they said he had. But we did, after that I said, okay, well, we're not going to miss another Florida. So 25, we came back here.
We did.
That was 20. Yeah, because 24, we ended up. I think we went to the Amish country for a week later in the summer.
We did. We didn't do a spring break week, and we did. I think we did a couple days in the Amish country, and then we went to West Virginia for a couple days.
Yeah,
filling in that week in the month of August.
And my parents actually went with us on that trip.
Yeah.
And then our mega vacation for 24, right? Yeah. We drove once again back to California. Went to Anaheim, went to Disneyland, spent time in Los Angeles. Went to Northern California, to Yosemite, come back down to Palm Springs, and pretty much did it. And we did a couple days in Vegas as well in 24. 25, like I said, after 24, I said, I'm not missing another Florida. We come back last year in 25. Don't remember what we did.
I'm kind of forgetting.
No Disney in 25. We had some other plans for Disney later in the year. No. We went to Disneyland last summer. Spoiler. 25. No, 24. I'm sorry. It's all rolling together.
It is all rolling together. I really am struggling to remember what we did last
year. Yeah, in 24, like I said, we didn't come to Florida at all. We went to California, and then we did Disneyland out there.
We did.
So 25 came, and we opted not to go to, not last summer, or last spring break, we didn't go to Disney at all. Thought about it, didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then
it's expensive. It's hard to do every year, you know?
Yeah, especially we did 2 days at Disneyland and California Adventure, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we opted not to in 25 last year. 25 last summer, we went to New England, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, New Hampshire. Made sure we stay at least one day in each of the New England parks. Then went to New York City, Washington, D.C.
That was a great trip.
So now we're back, and it is March of 26, back here in Florida. Ethan upset a little bit, hurt a little bit, not hurt or upset, but sad that we didn't go to Disney once again. But we're here in Florida, glad to be here. My parents are doing well as of this recording. We're doing pretty good. We're doing well. Carrie and I, of course, are still happily married. Ethan has now graduated high school.
Last summer, graduated from high school.
He's a working man. Won't go into all the details on that. Working man, working quite a bit. Working almost pretty much you could say 2 to 3 jobs. He's also volunteering as well some time. And Brady is a sophomore, 10th grade, and Lincoln is a first grader. Like I said, my parents are still down here doing well. And that's where we're at. Now, what do we do this summer? That's not official yet. We're talking maybe West Coast again. We'll see. Still, still, ran us over. wouldn't that be horrible? We did this video and talk about what our plans are and how we love Florida, and then with like a car backed over. It's gonna be horrible. What a way to end it. What a way to end our Florida. But anyway, we wanted to just kind of give people an update. This is our history of Florida. Some people will watch and say, I don't care about your history of Florida. It's fine. We do. And when I'm old and in a nursing home, I like to watch it and say, I remember we did that. No, it was fun. Stay on the same golf cart. 6 years later,
Yep.
the Lord has blessed us.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Everything's not perfect.
No.
Everything's never been perfect, and everything will never be perfect. But we are very, very blessed.
We're very, very blessed.
And really have nothing to complain about.
No, nothing.
And we're doing our best not to complain.
Yep.
So thanks for watching our history of Florida. I hope we have many, many more trips, visits to the great state of
Watching
Florida.
today's video on our history of Florida. So we'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, comment, tell us what you thought of it, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so that you know when our next videos come out. Oh, that fan is moving up there. I saw the bottom. Never mind. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow, where we embark on our trek back home. What? Oh, because I said bark. Okay, well, thank you, and see you tomorrow.
All right, we got some bonus features. Here's our bonus feature. When we recorded that last video, Lincoln was not even 1 year old. Just a little baby, crying, pooping his pants. And now he's a first grader. He's almost 7. He says things like 6, 7, which nobody knew what that was a year ago, or not even, actually 6 years ago. He's lived through COVID. He's lived through a presidency and now a new president. He's got lots of friends at school. He's pretty much the star of this YouTube channel. Loves Dude Perfect. What do you want to say, Lincoln? This is the history of our family in Florida. You love, what do you think about Florida? What's some things you like about Florida? Putt. Okay, we've done that this trip. What else? Pawpaw? Oh, pickleball. What about Mom, Pawpaw? And he's only been to Walt Disney World one day in his 6-year life.
But he has been to Disneyland.
He's been to Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure.
Yep. So that's more than most 6-year-olds can say.
Yep. Been to both coasts. But we're gonna plan
a lot of places for being a very young man.
This is not a prediction. It could be a spoiler.
Why?
Because Mom and I are planning, I don't have a date set, but we'd like to do another 1 week vacation inside Walt's Magic Kingdom.
Let's go.
In Florida. Now, will that be this summer? Probably not. Next summer? Possibly. And I know that seems, when you're 6 years old or even when you're 18, 1 year seems like a long time off. I would love to do 2 full weeks to bring what we call our mega vacation, 2 weeks of the summer, to Florida. But my goodness, we'd have to sell our organs and our home. I do not think. Now, I would not, if I did 2 weeks in the Magic Kingdom or 2 weeks in Walt Disney World, I wouldn't do like 14 days of tickets. I'd still do about 6 or 7. Take a pool day.
Yeah.
Take a relaxing day.
Just break it up.
Maybe
spread it out in 2 weeks. You know.
We'd like to sprinkle in some Universal.
Yeah.
He's not been to Universal.
Been Universal.
But we got to do some saving. We got to do some planning
Yeah.
and prep work for this. Adding to our Florida history.
So here's a whole new video.
Lincoln said. If we can go through the gates or even the back gate, staff taking us in,
Yeah.
and we could ride 3 rides at any of the 4 Florida Disney parks.
Yeah.
Right now, what would those 3 rides be? I'll start. I would say Tron because I haven't rode it. I would say Tiana's because I love Splash Mountain and I haven't rode it since they changed it. And then it would either be Rise of the Resistance or Soarin' because I love it so much. If it's Soarin' Over the World, which they're getting ready to change it to, or Soarin' Over America, or a 250th, I would say that. I would say Soarin'. What would you say, Lincoln?
I'll never have it.
Want me to go first? Okay. No waits. They can just walk me right in the back door,
Yep.
like a VIP experience, but I can only ride 3 rides. I'd have to also say Tron. When we were there in 2021, like we were talking about in a different video, it was under construction and they had not finished it yet. There was a lot of anticipation. You know, we knew we're big Disney fans, so we knew about the international parks. We knew it exists in Shanghai, China. I always thought it would look like a cool ride. Now it's open in Florida. I would definitely, that would be one of my top
That's Tron,
ones to
okay.
ride.
Number 2.
I would also have to say Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind.
Forgot about that. Forget Tiana.
at Epcot. Kind of what a lot of people are calling the modern day Space Mountain, which
Okay.
I've heard people call it that. Indoor roller coaster, spinning, but not, it's controlled spinning. So nothing, you know, I know how that can make anybody sickening. I'd love to do that. And then last, I would say I would love to do Soarin' Across America as well. I would probably say of what is left, I would probably say Remy's Ratatouille Adventure at Epcot.
Yeah, we haven't rode that
You didn't
yet.
think about that one
No.
either. We
Okay.
have
What's
not
your-
done that one yet.
what's your 3,
so
Link?
You go, Link.
Run it.
It's a small one.
Okay, Small World.
I think I'm doing Soaring 250.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, that's great.
My last one, like Speed 2 Kids.
The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Oh, he was at Haunted Mansion. He's not rode it.
He loves the Haunted Mansion, but will he,
not rode it
will he
yet.
be brave enough to ride it? I don't
We
know.
should have went this year.
I know, could have got you on the Haunted
Should have done this video on day 1. It would have got me thinking more about it. All right. Thanks for watching.
Yep.
We back.
Yes, subscribe to the channel for lots more videos.